postgame now is Wheeler head man Sean Birks. No sweat, right, Coach?
This offensive coordinator doesn't like when we only put up 19 points, or like it when we commit 4 first half turnovers. But that's a really, really good team over there. A lot of respect for Coach Wool and what he does. That was a nail biter. That's what you kind of envision when you're playing each other with two physical teams. Both teams have 3 seniors in the trenches. Both have electric playmakers. Both pride themselves on their ability to run the ball and stop the run. And defense has played really well tonight. Fortunately, we were able to get some second half turnovers to even out that turnover margin a little bit. But we're incredibly proud of the way the guys stayed in it early. Spotted them 8 points to start the game on a silly turnover. Committed those turnovers in the first half. Yet we had a lead at half, and we came out in the second half and did what we needed to do to earn a district title tonight.
Hey, your defense gave up just the one score, the other being on special teams. That's a pretty impressive feat when you hold a CAM team that's averaging 52 point some points per game to just the one score against your defense.
Yeah, we challenged our defense this week. Last week they weren't real happy with the performance against Glidden at times. We allowed some big plays, and we allowed 30 points. And I think that's kind of what people have pointed at us with the way we've played. We've scored points, but a lot of times, like the Woodbine game, for example, we get into track meets at times. So we really pride ourselves on defense because we know we're better than that. We shut out Fremont Mills. We kept Coon Rapids to 12. Now we've kept Cam to 16. Remsen, in the only loss, had 26 or whatever it was. So there's been a few nights where we've gotten into some of those nights where they get a few too many points on the board on us. But our guys pride themselves on our defense. I think you can see tonight that our speed and physicality on defense is pretty impressive, but it's really hard to stop them when they run that toss sweep with Speaker, the trap with Tickner, the play action game. There's so many weapons that they have, so to keep them to one score, keep our offense in the game long enough to do just enough. Our defense gets all the credit tonight.
The bulk of your rushing attempts were from Skylar Schultes, and a lot of times it was him following a couple of lead blockers out of the backfield. Is that something new you've put in? Talk about how who all needs to execute on that play, and obviously you rode your senior quarterback when you needed it the most.
Yeah, we kind of poke and prod and figure out what teams are going to give us. They've done a nice job taking away some of our option game, some of our read game. Just their defensive end play and linebacker play is really, really good. Some teams were able to exploit that. They had a really good plan coming in. They did a nice job on that. We need to have more answers. We need to be able to throw it a little bit more. We need to be able to get Caden more than the 3 carries he had. I just need to do a better job as an offensive coordinator, but a lot of that is they did a really nice job defensively. So, on that heavy set, we set Caden and Ethan up front and kind of a wing back, H-back front, and just kind of load up one side and see what they do. If they over adjust, we'll run it back to the weak side. If they don't adjust enough, we'll try to test them either following both lead backers up the middle, or towards the end we started to try to get to the edge a little bit and try to get a seal. And really proud of the way Ethan and Caden blocked, because usually they're skill guys that are getting the ball in their hands, but they blocked really well for Skylar, and I thought Skylar ran pretty hard most of the night.
Your seniors are out there bouncing around, jumping up and down, happy as can be, as they should be after a win like this, and the final home regular season game of their career and everything they've accomplished. Probably too many to talk about them all individually, but just a collective thought on these seniors.
I think the expectations preseason were really high around here. We expected to compete for a district title in a really tough district. We expected to compete in the non-district against probably the best non-district schedule in the state as well. So there's a reason why these guys are celebrating. They've had game after game against quality opponents, probably 5 playoff opponents on our schedule out of the 10 weeks. If Woodbine's the 6th best team you've played on the year, you've probably played a pretty tough schedule. So these guys earn it. They deserve it. But the big thing about them is they're focused in that huddle after the game. They're excited about the next challenge. They know we're going to probably be in the overall number 1 seed, which with that comes big expectations and a big target on your back. So I'm excited to get to, as much as I enjoy the weekend, I'm really excited about Monday to get back and see these guys. We'll give them 2 days to enjoy it. I'm sure they'll be preparing. They'll be watching the film. Beauty of huddle is these guys already know what they've done wrong. By the time we get there Monday, we just get to talk about it a second time. So these guys will be ready to go. They take their film study really serious. We'll be ready for whoever we draw. We got to defend the home turf again, which is good. Our seniors aren't done here. Tonight could have been the last game they played on this field, but they've earned the right to come back for at least 1 more, and if we take care of business, 2 more.
Well, T-minus about 2.5 hours till we know the qualifiers, which really won't tell us a whole heck of a lot. We're waiting probably 4 or 5 hours before we know who's coming here and all that. So what do you do in between now and when you find out everything you want to know?
It's going to be one of those nights where I listen to scoreboard shows and turn on the TV and wear out my phone battery on Twitter, checking everything else, and get out some scratch paper and start. When those 16 come out, I can start to pencil in who's going where, just to be wrong at 2 a.m. But it's I'll be up or I'll set an alarm. My wife probably won't like it if I set an alarm, so I better just stay awake or wait for that text from one of you media guys that are harassing me already. But I'm excited for it. It'll be probably a short night of rest, but I'll go. We'll talk as coaches after this, and we'll see what we think we need to do. Maybe we'll go together and celebrate a district title a little bit, and kind of just we'll kill a little bit of time until those pairings come out.
Coach, congrats on a really remarkable body of work here in the regular season, and best of luck to you coming up in the postseason.
Yeah, let's not start with a remarkable body ever again between you and me, but that's all right. Thank you.
Coach